more information. The next story is about the UN Migration Pact. So the UN, United Nations, is trying to push some sort of migration agenda onto the entire world. According to their own website, the UN Migration Pact is a global compact for migration, is the first intergovernmentally negotiated agreement prepared under the auspices of the United Nations to cover all dimensions of international migration in a holistic and comprehensive manner. So it's the first of its kind. It's the first time that the entire world tried to come together and have some sort of rule for everybody. It's like a global, like Alex Jones or Ron Paul or, even, people who are on the left, they call it globalism, which means a few group of people or one organization trying to control the whole world. We used to know that was a terrible idea, but somehow we got duped by the media, and people think, oh no, that's great. Yeah, let's let the UN dictate how the whole world takes in migrants because they've been so successful recently. Their last whole migration thing was a massive crisis. Pretty much everything they did was wrong. Every step of their migration crisis was wrong. First, you had leaders like Obama, Hillary, others from other countries, the Western world. I'm sure Saudi Arabia was in on it. Who knows what Iran and Russia were doing. But the United States and others, funded rebels in Libya and Syria. They ruined those countries and created a bigger refugee crisis than we had previously. And then the UN came in and said, oh, here, we know what we're going to do. Let's bring a bunch of people to Europe and Canada and US, and we'll decide. You don't decide. We'll tell you how many to take. And we're not even going to check for passports because most of them don't have any. They lost all their stuff. So a lot of bad people got involved in that mix. It wasn't just like desperate refugees. It was a lot of people you wouldn't want in your country. And the result was, as I say all the time, and now even Hillary Clinton is admitting, because she realizes she's losing popularity and she's never going to win elections again at this rate because the whole world is woken up, to the fact that mass migration and mass refugee migration that's dictated by the UN literally doesn't work. It's the opposite of work. It's tanking Sweden. I mean, Sweden is less safe than it ever has. The crime rate in London, this is CBS News admitting this in April, the crime rate in London has surpassed the crime rate of New York City for the first time in history. I wonder why. I wonder if it just randomly happened, or it was the terrible, migration pact from the UN that literally dictated that they bring in 500,000 people, and 100,000 of them were probably roughly ISIS affiliates. Oh, well, no one wants to say that, but it's probably true. Oh, wait, you know what? You could check it. A video of Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, in an interview with Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan's like, there's hundreds of ISIS members running around the streets of London. Like, what do you have to say about it, Sadiq Khan? And he's like, we don't know what to do. Like, we need more money for the police. So literally, even their own mayor admits there's ISIS members running around their city, but they really don't care. It's not a conspiracy theory. Like, oh, anomaly, you think all people are ISIS. No, I don't. I defend Muslim people all the time. I say they're not all bad people. They're mostly good. But the truth is that real ISIS members went to Canada, probably the United States, all over Europe, and there's hundreds of thousands of them, affiliates or extremists, that are there. Are they all extreme? No, but extremists went there. They're making Paris worse. They're making London worse. They're making Sweden worse. They made Italy worse. They made Germany worse, and everybody knows it because it's literally impossible to hide now. They're not big countries. So with this new UN Migration Pact, thank God Donald Trump is president. If Hillary Clinton was president, our country would be trash. But United States, Poland, Israel, Estonia, Czech, Austria, Hungary, Croatia, Bulgaria, and Australia, as of now, have opted out of the UN or Migration Pact. I don't think Canada did. I'm sorry to my Canadian supporters. I know you'll replace Justin Trudeau when he's gone. You're already replacing a lot of liberals like in Ontario and Quebec. They've already been replaced, but I'm sorry you got to deal with this for another year. But overall, the UN shouldn't dictate policy at all. They've failed on every level. It's not that I'm not compassionate. I'm very compassionate. I love all people. I want to help refugees. I know there's people in the world who need our help, but the UN has proved they have pathetically terrible leadership. They're not the ones to dictate it. I want Donald Trump, since he's our president, I want him to decide who's safe, who's not, who we take in, who we intake. We already have immigrants. We have, refugees. We take in hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions, every year. And we always have. We're the migration capital of the world in a lot of parts. We're already super diverse. We're going to continue to be diverse, but I don't want the UN sending 500,000 refugees where like 100,000 of them, 200,000 of them are extremists who don't want to fit into society, who hate the United States, who hate the Western world. And even some of them post on Instagram, they're saying, Europe belongs to Islam. Like, that's a big post I see going around Instagram, because I search for things and I just try to have a pulse on the people. They're trying to take over Europe, and they're going to successfully do so if leaders like Merkel and Macron continue their failed policy of immigration. Merkel is stepping down. Macron is getting protested by all sides, and he has like a 19% approval rating. Literally no one likes them. The only people that think that people like them are like brainwashed people in the United States who just listen to CNN and all these like Vice and Vox who literally have racist vision, who are like, race, religion, gender, oh, I'm so not racist, I love migration. It's like, we all love migration, but the UN does a horrible job. This migration pact, everyone should have an eyes on it, because it looks like a lot of the world is waking up to the shortcomings of the United Nations and how they're misleading pretty much everyone into a worse world, not a better world. It's not improving Africa. They're not improving the Middle East. They're not improving Europe. They're not improving the United States. They're literally ruining everything. They're making the Middle East worse. They're making Africa worse. They're making Europe worse. They're making the United States worse. Everybody should abandon this migration pact and stop with this creepy, false, like, we're so diverse, so we're going to destroy the whole world. No one's buying it anymore, and like I said, US, Poland, Israel, Estonia, Czech, Austria, Hungary, Croatia, Bulgaria. Australia opted out. Switzerland delayed. They're trying to like figure it out. They're probably going to drop out, as everyone should. Hopefully your country figures it out if you're not from the US. The next story of the day